Hey chat, it's Crafty Type 1, and we are currently in Mario's 40th anniversary. And while Nintendo has had a bunch of content lined up for it, it just feels different compared to past years. In this video, I'm going to go over what Nintendo has actually announced for it, why it feels so weird, and how it stacks up to previous anniversaries. But before we do that, I am doing a Pokemon Legends ZA DLC giveaway. Just make sure you're subscribed and comment down below, and I'll draw a winner on the launch of ZA for a DLC copy. But to the topic at hand, we're going to be using this Nintendo Life article that kind of rounds up everything for the 40th anniversary. But essentially, this got all announced during our September Direct. I believe the first 10 minutes of that hour-long Direct was focused on Mario 40th anniversary related things. But honestly, it just doesn't feel enough or actually substantial. Going through what Nintendo has officially announced for Mario's 40th, of course, we got events like museum tickets and lights displays, specifically in Japan, the museum in Japan. The Kyoto Marathon 2026 sponsorship, which I actually think is really cool, and I wish they would have done some stuff for the United States. And I feel like that's also where this kind of starts the beginning, because these are the first two things announced in that 40th anniversary, and they're both based in Japan. I think if they would have sponsored maybe a marathon in the United States as well, I think that would have been amazing, so that we could actually participate to that too. I would have. The Super Mario Galaxy movie announcement, which I thought was gonna be Super Mario World. I'm not gonna play this because this actually is copyrighted by Illumination. So yeah, I had to unfortunately demonetize the video because of that. But this actually set the stage for it kind of being like that kind of era, the Wii era of Mario, because after that we got the announcements for Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for Nintendo Switch. And this, I already have a video talking about it. You could check that in the top right corner, but briefly, it just doesn't feel substantial, especially for $70, like 4K upres and a couple PNGs. I'm recording this when the review copies were sent out, and it's not looking too good. It's Mario Galaxy though, so it's more nostalgia focused, which I guess makes sense for a 40th anniversary. Of course, we got announcements of a few products as well, like amiibos. This storybook, which I think encompasses the whole reason why I feel weird about the 40th anniversary, because there's a catch. Look, there's always a catch. So the Super Mario Galaxy Storybook is a physical version of this storybook from Super Mario Galaxy. However, while the game themselves will receive new pages, this one won't. What? Excuse me? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, make that make sense. Make that make sense. But like, I don't know. That's where I kind of feel where it just doesn't feel like they put effort. Like, the effort that it would have been to add a few more pages that they already made for the game, like it just feels lazy. And I think that's where I, at least, feel like something off about it. Especially as well, the announcement of Mario Tennis Fever, which just kind of feels like it's a sports game, right? It's a Mario sports game, but this has been possibly on like the docket for a while. They stick to certain schedules when it comes to these Mario style sports game, so it makes sense for them to release one in this time, and I guess include it for the Mario's 40th. We also got the announcement of Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 edition, which love that. More levels, online oriented park. But as you scroll through this trailer, you realize, like, yes, it's multiplayer focused, which is fine. Like, I like that idea. But then they also like, oh, and more levels right at the end, but they don't show any. So again, this also feels like, why? This also comes out spring 2026, which isn't even Mario's, like, I don't know. It coming out in 2026 just doesn't make sense to me. And again, kind of makes it seem like this was like, oh, we got to make a Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder. Okay, that's fine. But let's just kind of cut it close. Like, we're going to make this a week before launch or something like that. Where I think like if they did a better preparation or, more effort, this game would have been at least released sometime this year for the 40th anniversary. Because, we're going to get into the rest of this stuff, but I think the only thing that's coming out this year is actually Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which is just crazy to say if they're supposedly celebrating it this year. With this, we also have the announcement of a talking flower speaker. It's not even a Bluetooth speaker, I believe. It's $100 though. This is, it's just expensive. And this is where, again, it's that catch it's that catch where it's like, oh yes, I would love this, but it's also like $100. And also it's just Nintendo's greed is getting in the way. If it's supposed to be a celebration, it just doesn't feel like that. If this is $100. And then lastly, they ended on Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. And again, my problem with this is in this entire trailer, there was no Mario. And I get it, like Yoshi is a part of, Mario in that sense. But truthfully, this just doesn't feel like a celebration. Like there's no Mario in sight in this game that's supposedly for Mario's 30th anniversary. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great game, but it just doesn't feel like it's celebrating Mario at all. Like maybe it was like Yoshi's, but yeah, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. That was everything announced, and only one of those things is coming out this year. For a milestone like the 40th anniversary, I feel like fans and I expected something bigger. A lot of the focus this year is on spin-offs, remasters, and add-ons instead of like a unique Mario game. Don't even get me started on us not getting any like Mario Kart World DLC, which I feel like would have been perfect. It just feels like Nintendo is using the anniversary as a marketing umbrella for their 2025 and 2026 slate, rather than them constantly thinking, how are we going to celebrate Mario? And like, of course, it's just a marketing thing. Like we don't have to celebrate Mario's 40th. But to me, if you're going to use it as a marketing thing, you better take the backlash from it as well. But yeah, because again, like this is 100% marketing. Like we don't need to celebrate it. But if you're going to do it like this, you could just announce these normally. And I feel like everyone would have been fine, if that makes sense. Then that's like the way I'm thinking right now. If you could have announced these without a Mario's 40th, then they should have been announced that way, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. For comparison's sakes, we're gonna look at the Super Mario's 35th anniversary and see what was announced there, just to show you where this disparity is kind of like coming from. That I feel like. They had a Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which was priced at $60, I believe, when it came out. That came with like Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Galaxy, which that felt like a celebration piece because it was like, majority of, Nintendo's life in, the 3D space. They optimized the game pretty well. Of course, they didn't add any like up-res, really. Of course, I think everything's like native 1080p, but the game ran smooth, and they added an in-game music player mode before, Nintendo Music was a thing, which I think was, a great addition as well. They did announce it was a limited production because it honestly was like a good deal for Nintendo standards. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, a Game & Watch Super Mario Bros., Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And honestly, I think this is where you start to see a lot of the disparity when it comes into like effort. They designed this was like a 6-hour long campaign that was like a unique concept. Of course it could have been launched alone, but this felt like something that they wanted to do because they, brought up 3D Mario in the past. And now this potentially could be 3D Mario of the future, which, again, felt more celebration oriented. Don't even get me started on Super Mario 35 as well. Taking, the original Super Mario and making it a battle royale, again, feels like, effort got put into a celebration. And this game was legitimately fun. And it felt like it, celebrated the Mario of the past, but putting a unique spin on it. And was free for NSO subscribers. Because, this is what makes it feel like a celebration when you do something like that. Yeah, technically you need to spend, $10 a month. But it was free. I could just download it that same day and then boom. And I think that's also what made it feel so great. It was because I, again, downloaded it same day, right when it was announced. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Super Mario's 35th anniversary also had a bunch of events, arguably a little bit more than what we have now, structured across stuff for the United States audiences and Japan audiences. Stuff like, Super Mario related missions on the My Nintendo, as well as Super Mario 35th anniversary themed items, like apparel items that were made alongside brands. I don't even think we got any announcements of any collaborations. We had a Mario themed Splatfest, like the Puma RS Dreamer basketball shoes, some shirts with Adidas, a Monopoly, like Jenga. And this was all released in United States and in Japan. And I feel like that's what was kind of missing from the 40th. So as you guys can see, looking into the past, you could definitely see why this year, the 40th anniversary, feels a little lighter in comparison. I mean, could this mean anything even deeper? I mean, with the Switch 2 launching this year as well, they could have they just probably saw this as an opportunity, push a little bit more marketing and just fill the slate with, games and just push some games a little bit more than, others because of the 40th anniversary branding. To me as well, like the lack of innovation when it comes to, new for Mario means, to me at least, that they're putting a lot of effort into the next big Mario game. Like when Super Mario Bros. Wonder was announced for 2026, I think to me that said like, okay, they have a small team on that. They still have majority of their team dedicated to, the next big 3D Mario or, even 2D Mario of some kind. Because again, like even every game I think announced this year as well is made by a third-party studio and not one in-house. Maybe besides Yoshi, but I might be wrong. But yeah, like this anniversary just felt more like cross-media branding and marketing rather than an actual celebration, which just rubs me and a lot of people the wrong way. But of course, next year we're still getting a bunch of Mario related stuff and then a focus on Galaxy and like that Galaxy era of things. So gonna be quite interesting. It's weird to think that is Odyssey gonna be nostalgic soon? Odyssey is gonna be like 10 years old. That's crazy. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the 40th anniversary in the comment section down below. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to get notified when I upload a video. That's about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.